Hi, welcome to Fermented Files, Episode 1.
Hosted by our favorites, Rugile and Karolis. We want to apologize in advance for the quality of this recording, but we are promising that starting from Episode 3, the quality will be much better. Have fun!
Okay, so today you're gonna go first and you're gonna tell me a story.
Do you want to hear a story?
Yeah, absolutely, yes, please.
Okay, thank you for the right answer, because if you would say no, that would be the end of this episode.
It would be a short podcast, yeah.
It would be our shortest episode for sure. So, I'm gonna talk about this conspiracy about birds called Birds Aren't Real.
Okay.
Which we know birds aren't real for sure, but okay, so this movement, this conspiracy, as we all know, is very satirical and humorous, and it's basically went viral through social media. Let's see where it started. Everything started in 2017 when a college student from Memphis, Tennessee, Peter McIndoe, saw a protest by pro-Trump supporters that were protesting in Women's Week that was happening in USA. The crowd was mostly of white, bigger men, and he was like, there's no place for them here in Women's Week. So he went to the protest with a sign that basically read, "Birds aren't real." He didn't really have a plan what he's gonna do, what he's gonna say. He just tried to think of some silly thing that he could go with to a pro-Trump protest, and he went there. A lot of people, okay, maybe not a lot of, but some of the people were asking, what is happening here? What do you mean? And then he basically made up the story on the go. He was saying that for 50 or more years, there's this movement of people who are trying to save the birds because they were killed by the government. And he was filmed and a video was uploaded to Facebook, and obviously it went viral because the message was kind of crazy, and it's a new conspiracy. So he went viral on a few platforms like TikTok or Instagram. This conspiracy then was made to a satirical conspiracy, and he started doing some more content about it, and also he made a mini one with huge words saying birds aren't real. On the car he had a chart of a pigeon, everything that is happening inside the pigeon, like where is the cameras located and where is the microphone, where are the batteries and all that. So let's dive into the origins of this satirical conspiracy. Basically what they are saying is that the movement, everything started in 1959 when the US government systematically decided to kill all the birds. Basically they were spraying some poisonous stuff from planes to kill all the birds and replace them all with drones. So they could spy on you, not you, American people. So they replaced all the birds with drones, and their goal was basically to spy American population and get all the information. This operation was allegedly carried out by CIA under a secret program initiated by President Eisenhower. Basically, what they're saying that every drone has cameras and microphones, so they can not only see you but also hear you. And when they are low on battery, they go on the power lines, they land on the power lines, and they recharge through their legs.
That's a good idea for electrical cars.
That is a very good idea. You can just lay the power lines on roads and have...
Or just like under the road.
Yeah, we should do that
Someone should tap us up because we don't have enough money to make it a reality. But there's an idea and we've patented it. So.
Yeah, if you want to use it, you will pay us either way. And also, not only they are charging on power lines, but also they are tracking you through bird droppings. So if you ever got a bird dropping on yourself from the sky, it's actually a tracking device.
What does that mean, poop?
Yeah, that is poop. I
You were just very subtle, very demure.
Yeah, I was very subtle. So the movement suggests that any evidence of birds before 1959 has been fabricated or altered by the government to cover up that truth. Yeah.
Not the truth.
I know, right? So yeah, and they are very suspicious about bird watchers because they might be close to the truth. And the government goes great lengths to suppress the truth.
Mm-hmm.
They are controlling the media, spreading disinformation, and neutralizing anyone who gets too close to revealing the conspiracy.
The American government? No.
They would
No.
never. But if you're listening to this podcast, we might be dead at this point. But you're gonna be dead soon too, so it's alright.
Probably of obesity, though.
Not you fat shaming our listeners now.
I'm fat shaming us, it's fine.
Okay, so the movement mostly resonated with young people because obviously young people could easily understand that this is satirical and it's a joke. It's not like a real conspiracy. They started sharing the information, creating the content, and basically spreading this message. This movement is basically trying to mimic the real conspiracies and tactics used by real conspiracies and showing how it is dangerous and how people can be very silly and believe this. Despite that it is a satirical movement, it was quite popular to use even in like real world activities. There were some protests and rallies about this movement. One time they went to, I think, Washington, and they had like something like 2,000 people just with signs that are saying birds aren't real, and they had media filming them and it was shown on the media, and yeah, even though it was a joke, it was a good joke. I think I read in one of the interviews that one of the best things that happened from this movement to the creator is that he met his girlfriend.
Oh.
And that's very sweet.
Can I ask a question?
Always.
Like in terms of, as far as this conspiracy goes, so is the position only that the American birds are not real, but all the other birds everywhere else are fine and like legit, or are all birds in the entire world fake and America is controlling them?
So mostly it's about birds in USA, but since the movement was viral through the internet and viral in other countries, so other people believe it too, and yeah. But mostly it was happening in USA. And I can only guess, the movement says that all birds aren't real.
Okay.
Mostly pigeons, I don't know why, but mostly pigeons.
Because they're creepy little fox.
Yeah, they have these
I
natural
do.
movements.
No, wait, because I read, the saddest thing about pigeons that I read the other day
Yeah.
was that actually pigeons cannot survive without humans. So like, you know, when we dump food and stuff, like that's their only way to survive because they have absolutely no like survival instinct. And that's so sad to me because everyone hates pigeons, but they cannot exist without us. And that just made me really sad. And I think I told that to William and he got really sad. And I have like a newfound sort of like soft spot for pigeons, bless them.
That's very toxic relationship.
No, but imagine. We hate them so much, but they need us. I'm tearing up, actually. Jesus Christ.
Please don't cry.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so the movement is crazy and it's absurd, and let's hope it teaches you some critical thinking and maybe some skepticism. But that's not the only thing that happened in the world with, in the world of like conspiracy spying with animals. Birds are actually a very popular way of trying to spy your enemies. So pigeons, which we just learned couldn't survive without us, actually were used as spy tools in World War I and II by Germany. The idea was basically to develop cameras that can be put on birds, and they are just like, to better imagine them, it's like 2 GoPros size. It is quite big, but small enough to fit on birds. So basically they would, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, go to our Instagram because Karolis is gonna post a picture of how these pigeons look with their little baby cameras.
Yeah, the Instagram of the podcast, not mine Instagram.
Yeah, obviously. Insert the handle once we created it.
Yeah.
But for now, just they'll be there. They'll be
It'll
there.
be somewhere, you'll find
Just
it.
had to add Fermented Files.
Or just go to the description of this podcast.
Oh yeah, it's gonna have a description. Well done.
So yeah, they would put these cameras on the pigeons. They will take them near the enemy positions. They would release the birds, and as we know, they would pigeons. What they do basically, they are going home. So by releasing close to the enemies, the pigeons would take the photos, not by themselves. Obviously, the cameras had little timers that would take photos every few seconds. And yeah, that was the idea. But it didn't really work out because the cameras were kind of big, and also the pigeons were kind of unpredictable, and the quality, since it was quite some time ago, the quality of the pictures weren't really good. So yeah, the pictures were basically unusable.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like figure out, because obviously I think we spoke about this before. Even now, if you do, a picture while you're moving, even though you're using your iPhone 15 or whatever, have you, that is just like blur. This is what the Second World War, so like 40s, 50s, whatever. Can we try and find an historical example of a picture taken by a pigeon? Because I bet it was all just a blur, and I really want to see one.
I will try to look for the image. Probably it's not gonna be that easy. But maybe we can also add it to the Instagram post.
Yeah, exactly.
So if there's a picture, very blurred picture on the Instagram post, it's probably was taken by a pigeon.
Or by me after 4 mango milkshakes.
Or we are faking the image. So that's all about pigeons, but not all about spy birds. Another very popular bird is an obvious choice, a raven, because ravens are kind of smart. They can they can do stuff. They have high intelligence. They can solve some problems, and also they are very adaptable to urban environments. So yeah, they train the birds to basically retrieve small objects or like carry small objects like cameras or microphones. And try to capture some images or try to capture some conversations. They developed methods to train ravens to fly into specific locations, drop and retrieve items, and return to their handlers. It worked well in controlled environments, but it didn't really work in real world conditions. Because again, birds, surprise, surprise, are unpredictable.
Who could have known?
Who could thought about that? But it doesn't stop here. There's also seagulls. In Soviet Union, seagulls were used for the same reason as ravens, because they are kind of smart and they can be trained to do stuff. So they try to train them to get more information about Western world. But again, birds are unpredictable, as other animals too. So it wasn't that easy. It worked well in a controlled environment, but not really good in the real world. And also we don't know all the information because Soviet Union operations are not so public as like CIA operations that happened in the Cold War. So we finished with the birds, and then the CIA tried the ravens, but decided to try also bats. The project was to attach small bombs to bats and release them over Japanese cities. So they would hang out in like attics and other parts of the buildings and release the bombs because they were timed and start fires. And since a lot of structures in Japan were made of wood, so it was easy to begin widespread fires there. And again, as with other birds, in controlled environments, it was okay. Maybe except that one time when the bats escaped and they caused a fire in the military base where the project was being developed. But besides that, mostly the idea was good. But the ending with this project and this operation is kinda scary and sad because it didn't really work well. So they decided that atomic bombs is better solution for ending the war. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great, in retrospect, great decision. Absolutely. Wow. Well done.
It worked.
Well done. Yeah. Yay.
We tried it in the air. Let's move to water.
Oh.
We have two basically different animals in the water that can be trained to do stuff or can be controlled maybe. So first, sharks. The US military has explored possibilities to implant electrodes to sharks and then control them so they would go to specific places and retrieve some sort of information from there. Since sharks naturally known for detecting electromagnetic fields or chemical changes, they would be quite good for this as living drones, but in reality it was tested but too hard to actually implement. So the project with sharks, it is very experimental, but we don't have any confirmed operational use. But we have some confirmed operational use with dolphins. Let's start in general. What about dolphins? Dolphins are very smart. We all know that. So obviously the US Navy thought about using them as spies. And it is quite easy to train them. So yeah, what they are doing is basically they are training dolphins to identify and mark underwater mines or detect intruders or carry cameras or carry other devices that could show anything basically.
Could they carry pigeons that are actually drones?
Probably. That would be...
With their little swimming, masks or
Masks,
whatever.
yeah. And then the dolphins get the pigeons close to the ships and the pigeons can take the pictures of the enemies.
Again, not saying that we're onto something, but I think we are. If you need to hit us up, hit us up.
Yeah, so dolphins can be equipped with cameras and it's easier for them to carry cameras than for pigeons. And also sensors so they can investigate areas that are too dangerous for human beings. They also can be trained to carry some devices to specific locations, even maybe mines or bombs. But I'm not saying they're doing that. Dolphins are good.
Yeah, didn't you say something about Iraq or something? The
Yeah,
Iraq
I'm getting
one?
there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, because you just said mines and bombs, so I assumed that maybe we've already sort of touched upon that.
So basically dolphins were used in real-life operations. In Vietnam War, they were used to protect ships. In Cameron Bay, they were basically trained to detect and alert their handlers to the presence of enemy divers or ships or anything basically enemy. Another case is what you mentioned is Iraq War in 2003. They helped to clear the port of Qasr of mines. It is Qasr.
So why did they just take them into their mouths and snatch them away, or did they just alert someone?
No,
and
they
then
can
sort of
mark the mines with...
mark them?
Yeah, they can mark them with... how it's called? With buoys. Buoys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the so they just carry a buoy in in their mouth, and then they just sort of put it where the mine is, and then someone comes and they're like, "Oh, there is a mine," and they sort of
They can
deconstruct it.
Yeah, or they can go around it.
That's hella smart. Sounding less smart than Lithuanian. I love this.
So yeah, and the use of dolphins continues today, and it's I think one of the only case of animals that we know are still being used. They get criticism for this, but they still use it. And yeah, I think we are up for the last case. It is cats. So there's Project Acoustic Kitty. It was during the Cold War. Yeah, who could resist cute kitty? Nobody. So
A kitty can resist being trained, though.
yeah, they can. So basically, CIA tried to train the cats to become spies. No, not really. So what they did is they planted microphones in cats' ear canal, hide the wire into the floor, and yeah, the concept was that basically you release cats near sensitive areas like embassies or parks where Soviet operatives met, and the cats go near the Soviets and they basically stay there doing their little things, and CIA can listen to their conversations. They train the cats, they tried at least to train the cats, but since the cats are very independent, they were really hard to train. They throw millions into this project, but it didn't work well, and there's this anecdote that one of the cats was released outside a Soviet compound only to be run over by taxi almost immediately. Yeah, so it didn't work out, sadly. I hope it's just anecdote, not a real story.
Well, I have some suggestions. I think they were probably not doing like hiring of the cats correctly. Because I feel like if you know my cats, if you take my smaller cat and you put an implant into his ear, he's literally gonna go to any person anywhere in the vicinity. They're just gonna like hang out around them. So maybe they just hired the cats wrong. Maybe they just got the cats that are not, because the other cat obviously doesn't like humans.
Yeah.
So maybe they just casted them wrong. You should try again, guys.
Yeah.
With better cats.
CIA, if you're listening, try again. Try better.
I can help you hire the cats.
Yeah.
I'm a great judge of character, and Karolis is also, because even though he's allergic, cats apparently love him. So hit us up.
That's because I am allergic, so they sense that. And yeah, that's all about animals. There are, of course, ethical concerns, but also animals, also humans too, are unpredictable and behave differently in real life situations rather than in controlled situations. So there is that, and that's why there are not much operations with animals now, or maybe we don't know, maybe we know about the birds though. And yeah, that's all about the animals. Thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. Not sponsored by anyone yet, sadly, so if you want to sponsor us, check our description for the email of this podcast. And next time we're gonna be talking about something I don't know yet. Subscribe to me, to Rugile, and to this podcast.
Actually, it's not Rugila, it's Rue.
If
Fuck off. Do you even know my name?
No.
Or am I just a fucking plaything to you?
Who are you?
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I'm very sad about the bats. But I'm very happy.
Not about the cats?
I mean,
the cat
Yeah,
who
but-
died.
yeah, the one with the taxi, the rest are fine. Cats die every day. I think
That's
I'm
very
happy.
insensitive of you.
I'm happy for the cats because what they did is they failed that whole operation purely because they wanted to stay who they are, just badass bitches. Very sad for the bats that died, and also very pleased for the dolphins. They're just like doing so well, so well.
They are doing so much better than most of us.
Sure. I mean, have you been mind searching and
No.
the Iraq, whatever?
No.
Exactly.
I will never be as good as Dolphin.
Exactly. Just can't compare.
Thank you for listening.
And you can already listen to episode 2 on whichever platform you're listening to this one on.